Julia grew up in a household where money was scarce and luxuries were only a dream. She watched her mother struggle to make ends meet, and as she grew older, she swore that one day she would have the wealth she had always dreamed of, no matter the cost. Julia didn't think she could date or marry a guy that is not very rich. Julia is very beautiful and knows it. It sometimes makes her cocky, and sometimes she gets out of hand with her rudeness. If you want to be in her good books and enjoy your friendship with her, then you must agree with whatever she does. You must agree that she is right in the way she treats people. If you are beneath her, as in you are a junior staff or domestic staff, then you must bow and tremble before Julia. Years ago, Julia met this young guy who is the son of a billionaire. He looks simple, easy, and nice. Nnamdi is really good looking and quiet. Well, he and Julia struck it off together fast. Julia saw in him a young man that she could easily manipulate. They went out together a few times and Julia pushed. Yes, honey, it's been some months now. Don't you think it's time we defined our relationship? Don't you think it's time to tell the world what we are up to, starting with our parents? Nnamdi said, well, that's fine if you really think so. They decided to go to Nnamdi's house first. They got there and Madam Bernice, Nnamdi's mom, was carrying some cupcakes in a tray. Julia saw her and frowned. She put her nose in the air and said, why would you be carrying cupcakes across the sitting room like that? Why? So you don't know cakes should be eaten at the dinner table? She reached the tray and took one and dropped on the floor on purpose and said, this is how a beautiful sitting room floor gets messed up if you carry foods across the living room. As she was at it, Nnamdi came in and saw his mom staring at Julia. He reached out and cuddled Mom and said, Mommy, you are the very best. He gave her a peck and took a cupcake into his mouth. Then he looked up to see an embarrassed Julia. He said, have you introduced yourselves already? Before anyone could answer, he said, Mommy, this is Julia, my friend. My girlfriend. Julia, meet my mom. Julia smiled weakly and said, it's a pleasure to meet you, ma. Madam Bernice said, yeah, it has to be. They all went to the dinner table and sat down. Madam Bernice, on purpose, asked Julia to go get a bottle of wine from the fridge. And she turned to Nnamdi and said, where did you get this wild girl from? All the girls in this Nigeria, is it only this wild, rude girl you brought home? Before Nnamdi could answer or ask questions, Julia arrived with a covered bowl and dropped it in front of Mrs. Bernice. Mrs. Bernice opened it and said, whoops! What was inside? Julia is cooking something, knowing she has already messed up big time before Mrs. Bernice. Madam opened the bowl and there it was. Pregnancy test result. Julia is pregnant for Nnamdi. Nnamdi was excited. He hugged and hugged Julia and turned to his mom, Madam Bernice, and said, Mom, bless us. We need to get married right away. Mom said, why are you in a hurry? You should wait for at least 1 year. Nnamdi protested. Julia supported Nnamdi as expected. Then Madam Bernice said, Nnamdi, no problem. If you wish to marry her earlier than I said, then get ready to forgo your inheritance in our business empire, or make her sign the document that should there be a divorce, she doesn't take a pin out of your house. Madam Bernice walked away. Nnamdi turned to Julia and said, I am ready to forgo my inheritance. I love you. The house I live in is my house, bought by my father for me. I will sell it, and we would have enough money to rent a small apartment and take care of ourselves and our baby. Julia blurted out, How can? I don't want to raise our baby in poverty. Now what you should do is to hand over your inheritance to me, as in transfer your shares to me. And they wouldn't be able to take it away from you when we marry in a month or two. Nnamdi objected, and she wanted to scream off her head in anger. Then Nnamdi said, Calm down, Julia. I think I would do as you have said. I will get the paperwork done very fast before my mom gets to know about it. Julia called one of her friends and said, Yes, we have just closed the deal. Yes, he has transferred everything to me. Everything is now in my name. That is to say, I have broken my generational relationship with poverty. In a few days, some men walked into the Bernice group home where Julia now lives and stomps around in. They were policemen. They asked, Who is the owner of Bernice group? Julia said, I am. Their team lead said, Handcuff her. He tried to explain that the company is a dupe, scam company and is owing so much in taxes. While one was trying to put handcuffs on her, she started talking to the guy and said, You see, I can settle you better than whatever pay they give you monthly for this job. We could strike a deal. Asked, But you are about to marry the son in this family? Are you not his lover? She said, Forget that one. Oh. What love? It's all business. Pure business transaction. I can start afresh with you and give you your own cut of the money and properties I get from this family. Nnamdi heard everything she said and brought her box out and told her to leave their house immediately before he calls the real police. These men are fake police, I brought them, said Nnamdi, just like you gave false pregnancy test results. Goodbye, try your nonsense somewhere else, gold digger. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the story and or benefited from it. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so, and click the bell icon in order to know when we upload our next very interesting story video. Till our next video, remain truly amazing. Goodbye.